Hi there and welcome back to Scrap and Coffee. So I'm done with the basic decorating of the pages and I'm at the point where I can put them in the album. So that's what I'm going to start with. This video will be a little bit of a mixture of several things that I still need to do. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes in this video. But let's start with attaching the pages. As you can see, I did not place my box in here yet because at this point I can make this lay flat. Once the box is in there, I'm not able to make it lay flat on my work surface anymore. So that's why I'm doing this first. See, this half page is already in there. If you've seen that video, I've almost glued that pocket page closed, so I need to save myself a little bit there. I know what the order of my pages are going to be. You know, I was going to do 4 pages and I brought it back to 3 pages. So I made page tile 1 twice and page tile 2 once. So yeah, you can of course decide for yourself what you want to do with that. And I always like to start with placing my last page first on the hinge. So I'm getting my 3rd page in here. That's this one. I have some stuff in here that I still need to work on. But that's okay. So we need, what I'm going to do in order to place this page is get this one out, put that to the side, then I can get into that pocket page here. So I'm going to place my hand in there, and then I have a little something there that I don't want. Give that a dry fit. I always like to do it because if I need to adjust something now I can do it, but this has a perfect fit, so I feel comfortable in removing that tape backing there. Again, get my hand in that large pocket. It's a large album, so, and I'm going to get that hinge in there, bring it up all the way to the start of my tapering point from the binding in order to get it straight. And once I have it there, I'm going to stick that down. And then we move to the other side, get myself a tool, and then I have to reach for the tape backing over here. And also burnish that on there a little bit. Where's my bone folder? I haven't even started yet and I'm already losing my stuff. So you also see a little bit of what I did with the decorations. I'm not done yet, not even close to being done, but we will finish that up. So I'm going to shove that one back in there. I don't know why. Yep, there we go. And something fell out of here. So that's the first page in there. I can also just lay this completely flat if I want to, but I don't have a large work surface, so now I'm still able to do that. So then I have that second half page. And what I want to tell you is, when I made these, I showed you to cut into the binding, but eventually I ended up cutting it all the way to the spine, just at an angle. I just did it at an angle, just clean it up in a way that I liked how it looked. So because I want them to work individual from each other, and if you cut only to the half of the binding, then they're still stuck to each other, so of course you have to do that. So this one, I've already tried it, it fits on here. Yep. So I'm doing the same thing actually, but in this case I can get my hand in there from the back. get it up to the start of your tapering. I'm lining this one up with the page as well, just to make sure, and then I'm just pushing down on it. So that are our half pages. Of course, there will be a photo in here as well. And here I did a cut apart. Okay, page number 2. Well, I'm just going to place the rest of the pages. Speed it up maybe a little bit. I think you get the idea. So I'm going to make a little punch here. I just love doing this. Never thought of that before. And I'm going to cut it out. There we go, they are in there. It's always exciting when your pages are in here. So yeah, I think I really did make the right decision with going with the half pages, not just for the pattern paper, but also for the bulk, although with 4 pages it won't have an alligator mouth. So yeah, I still need to do a lot on here. Embellishments wise, but I really love how it looks so far, and I think I have plenty of room to put a whole year of pictures in here. So next, what I'm going to do is show you the element that we are making for the front inside cover. So let's go to that. I'm going to make the element for the front inside cover. And yeah, I've prepared some pieces, so I haven't really tried it out, so we'll see how it turns out. But you have 2 pieces of yew. They are the same, scored on 3 sides, like a pocket with tape on the dented side. And on one of them, on the bumpy side, I've drawn a frame, a 5/8 inch frame, and I'm going to cut out that frame. That's out. Then I have a piece of Duralar or acetate, whatever you like to use, and I've placed some tape on the long edge only. I love it. This is sticking to my work surface like crazy. And we are going to place this. It doesn't really matter how you have your piece at this stage, but you only want to glue down the longer sides. You want to have some overlapping on your sides as well, but only here you are going to stick it down. So I probably, even though I'm a little bit scared of it, what I'm going to do is add a little tiny strip of wet glue on the inside edge of the tape as well. And I will try to explain to you why I do that. But it's, yeah, I think it's better to show you later on than try to tell you in words. So I'm going for a little bit of wet glue. Hopefully. Sometimes it just surprises me and it oozes out like crazy, but I hope that's not happening now. Just on the bottom edge of the tape. Now I had some space between the tape and the actual edge of the frame, so I'm just going to try not to burnish it too much. So I need a little edge on all 4 sides, like that. Carefully. And if I burnish now, I try to burnish down, away from the frame, away from the window. That's what I'm supposed to say. Let's do that here as well. So we've made that window in here. Now we are going to continue with our piece V. That's a plain piece of cardstock, no score lines or whatsoever. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slit in the on the long side, and I'm going to do that 1/2 inch from the edge, and I'm going to start about 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch from the edge, all the way to the other side. So that's where I'm going to make my cut. You can do this with your paper trimmer as well, of course. Just like that. So back to this piece. My score line is on the top. On the bottom I have the side without the score line, and I should be able to get this. Let me see, I'm going to, yeah, just go this way. The 1/2 inch, and it's a little bit long and flimsy, and this might be a little bit static here. You're going to place that 1/2 inch underneath your Duralor or acetate, and it will come out on the other side. So I just have to make sure, I need to cut it down a hair here to make sure that I'm fitting in between my score lines. So you might have to do that as well. Check that at forehand before you stick anything down or placing pattern paper. So just a little bit there. Try it again. There we go, that's it. That's better. Okay, so before I'm going to attach this in place, oh, and I do have to make sure that I have this the right side up, of course. I have to place my pattern paper, and now I've cut this down a little bit, so I need to check if I'm still okay with my pattern paper. And I also cut this too big, I see. But that's fine. Yeah, I need to cut it shorter. So let me recut my pattern paper quickly. Okay, there we go. Just checking if there by accident is a way that this is going. Oh, no, so it's fine, I think. Oh, like that maybe. Okay, so I've cut it in a way that I have a really small border of white. So I'm going to glue that down. So be careful. So well, I went for about a 1/16 inch border here. So what I also have is this 3x4 card that I've mounted on some pink pattern paper to give it a little bit more dimension, pop it out of the card, but we have to take in account that we are going to see that card when it's in here. So this will be like that. So I think I have to place it somewhat centered on this card, more to the top than to the bottom. Yep, that's my best way to go, I think. I wanted to place it off center, but then I have a chance that it will fall away behind the frame. Okay, use my ruler to center that as best as I could. Now let's hope that I did a good job. So remember your score line on top. You're going to place that 1/2 inch strip underneath there and have it come out on the other side. Make sure you're in between your score lines. Let's see. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. At least we can see the image there. So the reason I've put my wet glue, because I was afraid that this strip was going to go between the cardstock and the acetate there, and then with the tape it might stick on it, and with the wet glue when it's dry, it's not going to stick. So that was an extra protection bumper, but as you can see it's not going any further than the frame, so that's fine. But we need to make sure that when we pull our card down, what we are going to do is that we are not going to do this, but that's going to stay together. So I've got 2 little strips of 1/4 inch by about 1 inch, and I'm just going to place them on both sides also to make that a little bit stronger there, but it's definitely necessary here. So that stays together. So you want to make sure that everything is straight. And then I'm going to stick those 2 parts together again. And like I said, I'm doing it here just to make that a little bit stronger, but it's not really necessary there, I think. So now when I turn this around, we can pull this down, and then we can have a photo behind it that will show once you've pulled it down. So what I did also is I prepared a tag. Where is my stuff? Here. So I've prepared a tag that we can stick on here, so we can pull on that, and it's also obvious that you have to do something with it. But I am considering maybe putting a bread in there or something. I'm not sure. So yeah, you want to do it at this stage, I think. But yeah, there are several options that you can do to use there, and of course you also want to decorate the edge of your frame. I will probably use this pattern paper for it, but we'll see. So what are we going to do with the pocket? And we also need our other piece of U. we are going to treat it as a pocket. Make sure you're not cutting into the element there. Miter those corners, and we are going to fold and burnish. So this is why it's important to stay in between your score lines so you can fold on those score lines properly. I'm just sticking that flap down there and there, and then we are going to attach it like that. Then we have our other piece U, that's exactly the same. So again, I'm going to miter those corners and I'm going to fold and burnish on those score lines. So I actually want to have another pocket behind that, behind this one. So I'm going to stick this down, and this one I'm going to place on my work surface with the folded edge on the bottom, so the opening is on top, and I'm going to place this one with the opening on the bottom on top of that. So we are going to pull down on this tag. So I have to place this tag, I can do it later because it's open, so that's not a big deal. And then behind that we have another pocket where we can place like the bird announcement or something that you want to place there. And what I might do as well is cut a piece of cardstock behind this and place that as a whole piece in my front inside cover, but you will see that if I do that. So first I'm going to place this pocket, and now I'm going to confuse you because I'm going to place this one with the opening to the bottom and this one like this because it's easier for me to work. So I'm removing that tape backing there and a little bit there, and then I'm going to start here at the bottom. I'm going to try and align this side here, and I just hear that my little boy woke up, so that makes it hard for me to focus, but I think I'm going good. And then also remove this one here. Like that. So now we have this pocket here that we can attach on the front inside cover. You can attach it like this, or like I said, you can put another piece of cardstock there. I will put the measurement for that in the cutting guide anyway, so you can decide on what you want to do. And then we have this here, but I need to make something where I can pull on. Oh, damn it. It's okay. I can use my undo to get to the back. But before you attach this, it would be smart to place your photo there first. So you cannot glue this down completely until you've placed your photo. And this frame here is perfect for your 6x4 photo. So yeah, I will use my undo for that because I don't have my photo yet, of course. So yeah, that's fine. I can fix that. Or I have to go really difficult behind here. Maybe I can do that as well, but that's going to be difficult. But yeah, you need to place a photo there, of course. That's the whole idea, that when you pull down on this, that there is a nice photo there. So that wasn't very smart of me, but yeah, like I said, I didn't make a tryout, so yeah. But sometimes it's good to see somebody else make mistakes so you don't have to make them, right? So yeah, we're going to attach this on the front inside cover. I think it's a fun element, and I'm going to place the bird announcement here, or yeah, maybe something else that I want to keepsake there. And I probably use this tag here to glue on this card so that we can pull it out easily. But I have to think about what I want to do to make that look nice. But probably will be something like this. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to wrap that up, and then of course we are going to place it on the front inside cover. So let's go to that part. Okay, so I'm at the point where I can place this on my front inside cover. I did end up backing it with a piece of cardstock here. Like I said that I might do it, simply because for me personally, I think it's easier to place it in there, but you don't necessarily need it, because you can just use the 3 strips of your pocket to put it on here. So what I did on the cover is I've placed a piece of, yeah, I call that ribbon. Is it actually ribbon? Yeah, ribbon. I found it at my local dollar store. It was $1.25 Canadian dollars, so that's less than a US dollar. I bought a pink and a white, but I found that this was too bright pink to go with the album, so I decided to go with the white. It's neutral, will work always. And I've chosen this pattern paper that I almost haven't used on the album, because I only used it right there. It wasn't working for me, but in this place it worked for me. So I'm going to place it here, and I'm just going to center this on the page, I think. So I will have pocket here, and I think I want to put the bird announcement in there, and I can place a photo here. But like I said, if you have a photo, please do that before you finish construction. It's easier. So I think I'm just eyeballing it a little bit on where the center will be, but somewhere like that. So you can find this piece in the cutting guide as well. I've put some double-sided tape along the edges and filled in a little bit on the middle, but I'm also going to use some wet glue to yeah, give me some wiggle time, like I do often. So very boring. I'm going to peel off all those tape backings. So I'm really happy, and I totally had a nightmare the other day with this white cardstock, that it was getting all dirty and brown and black. So I love working with the white, but I'm happy if I can go back to the black and not worry about that too much anymore. But I would definitely have regretted if I would have done this with black. I think it looks so much better with the white. Something like that. I'm hoping I'm straight. I'm just trying to look at the words, you know, the lines, so that I line it up with that a little bit. I think that's more distracting if that's off than that you are actually straight on the page. So I think something like that. Sometimes it's hard to see for me. And now it's a little bit hard to burnish it on there, because I don't want to burnish on that acetate. So I'm going to go in here, I think. And a little bit from the top. Yeah, I think that looks good. Happy with it. So that's in there, functioning. I can still use some ribbon or something in here, but I don't think it needs it. I think it works just fine. Nice. So next step, backside cover. I also have to place the ribbon there and decide on what we are going to make there. So let's get to that element. Okay, for the back inside cover, I'm going to make an expandable envelope pocket, so we can really stuff that up, and I've got my pieces for it. So we have our pieces X, Y and Z, and another piece of acetate or Durla, whatever you want to use. And I'm going to start with my piece Y. You have 3 score lines on both of your longer sides, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1 score line on the bottom. I've placed my tape on the dented side on the 2 outside half inches on the long side and on your half inch on the bottom. And then I always have to think about it. I don't really make these very often, but we can, what's that? I don't know what that is. Cut it here with an angle. So what I'm doing is cutting towards the intersection with the 3rd score line, the most inner score line there. And then we can cut this out, and I'm going to do that with a really slight angle. So not completely straight, but not really angled either. Just make sure that you cut out the score line there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And just with a really slight angle. There. And then I will also, am I going to do that? Yeah, just slightly taper that outer half inch there. So only that outer half inch. Then on the back, of course, I need to make a window. So I've drawn a frame, 5/8 inch frame, and it's easiest to measure it on this side 5/8 of an inch from your inner score line. And then you can measure 5/8 of an inch from the cut edge there, and here you can measure 5/8 of an inch from your score line as well, or 1 1/8 of an inch from your cut edge. That's, yeah, however you prefer to do it, or of course use another measurement for your frame. And then let's cut that out and make a window. Nice. So don't throw this away, very usable. Photo mats, other stuff. So now yeah, you need your piece of acetate that we can stick on here. So what I'm going to do is place some double-sided tape around the perimeter of my acetate and around the perimeter of the inside of the frame. So that's going to take me a little while. So after we've placed the tape, give that a slight burnish and then remove the tape backing. I've already removed it from the cardstock. And now I only need to remove it here. And I always like to remove it from the cardstock first, because I can lay that on my work surface and then I can just peel it off from the acetate and I don't have to put that down and pick it back up again. One more. Come on. Come on. There we go. So when you place this, make sure that you don't have any tape overhang on the inside of your window and you stay in between your score lines. And then carefully burnish that on the tape only. There we go. Now this is the good side, of course. But now we are going to fold on our score lines. So I'm going to fold on the short side first. We have 3 score lines and I'm going to start with folding on the one that's furthest in. So this is the bumpy side facing up. I'm folding towards the bumpy side. No burnishing yet. Pull back on that second score line towards the dented side and again towards the bumpy side on your last one. Now I can turn this around and give that a burnish. And we are going to repeat that process on this side. So on the one furthest in towards the bumpy side, pull back on the second one, and towards the bumpy side again on the third one. Turn it over and burnish it. And why turn it over? I just feel like it gives a cleaner fold. There we go. And then we need to fold on the longer one here on the bottom as well. And burnish that. Now, what I like to do is fold that one over there and stick that down. So I have my short side folded in, peel back the tape backing there a little bit. Just make sure that your ½ is not going over that score line there on the bottom, and that's why you cut it in a slight angle there. So that's stuck down. Let's do the same thing here. And that's stuck down there. Then you have your piece X. I'm going to turn it around so I don't see the letter. Not that's really important, but I'm going to cover it up anyway. And this we can line up on 3 sides. So you should have about, yeah, some space there on top. I did that on purpose. So just checking if that fits. It fits, and now we are going to carefully place that on there. So I'm removing the tape backing from one shorter side, a little bit from the long side. I'm working from the other side now. Okay, that's one. Way better, way better. Trying to hold it in place. And peel off the last side. It's on there. And there we go. Then we have our last piece. That's piece Z. This one has 2 score lines. I've placed tape on the dented side between the cut edge and the first score line. I'm going to taper this from the first ½ score line. So I don't know how well you can see that, but that's what you want to do. And you are going to fold and burnish on both of those score lines. So I gave this one a little gusset because this is going to come up. Okay, there we go. Now for attaching it, you want it to be folded on your ½ score line. And you are going to attach it along the other long edge there. Now of course with this you can use a corner punch or your envelope punch board, or you can make an angle in it. Just, yeah, whatever you like to do. I'm actually not sure what I want to do. I don't know. I don't think I want to keep it straight, but I haven't been using any punches in this album, and I do want it to fit with the album, of course. I think for now I'm just going to leave it. Yeah. So I'm not sure what I want to do with this, but there are, of course, there are several options. You can also make it a little longer if you feel that you need to make it a little wider. Okay, along the edge, hold it in place. And then just fold back on your other score line so you have that little gusset there. Now there are several options that you can choose for closure. You can make an envelope closure. I'm not going to do it because then I should have done it before I've attached it. I think I'm just going to use a magnet to keep it closed. So I always use the basic gray magnets, but I was in a local craft store and I found these one from Tonic Studios, and I've decided to get myself a package and try them. But I think they don't have, I think they are thinner than the basic gray actually. Feels like it. Not completely sure, but it looks like it. But they don't have self-adhesive layer, so we have to do that ourselves, but that's okay. This is magnetized as well, so that's why it's a little bit difficult. I think one will be enough. I'm just going to do one, yeah. So I'm going to need some tape. Just eyeballing that it's centered there. I can also do it on the inside, so I don't have to cover it with my pattern paper. I think that would be better. Okay, let's see. I'm just placing my tape on here. And I'm going to place it on the inside of my 5/8 inch strip, and then yes, of course, when you use it you would be able to see that it's there, but I don't mind. You can also place a strip of pattern paper over it if you want to, but I think this will look better than having it there and then have to cover it up with pattern paper and not able to close those edges very well. I didn't place it completely centered, but that's okay. Right there. And then just close this flap. Don't push on it too hard because then you will see your magnet there, but we will cover that up with pattern paper. Okay, so closure is on there. You can do, of course, 2 magnets if you want. See, because it's pretty long, my edges are standing up a little bit there, but that's also because of the fact that that's magnetized here. It's pulling down on it. So what was I going to say? Yeah, you can place 2 magnets here as well if you want. Now this I'm going to place in the back inside cover. You can decorate it first. You can decorate it when it's in there. I also have to place my pattern paper on the back inside cover and my ribbon. So what I will do is, I'm thinking I still have a large sheet of this one, and I'm going to place it here, but I'm going to cut out a frame so I can use that inside part for photo mats and that sort of stuff. I'm really running out of papers, and then I think I will decorate it before I place it because it's just easier for me. And then I'm going to put double-sided tape here, just like I did with the piece on the front inside cover, combine that with some wet glue and place that on there. So we do have a nice pattern paper around it, and it's nicely decorated, the piece itself. And then I am going to Or maybe, you know, maybe what I will do is place a tag there just like I did here on the front inside cover. So I can use that to open it. I think I like that, so that's what I probably do. And then yeah, you can stuff this up with photos that don't make it into the album, or a birth certificate, or other stuff that you want to keepsake yeah, from your little one, but don't make it into the album. So I know I have that in my first year book from my daughter, and I really use that pocket, so I thought that would be a great idea to use in here as well. Does it fit in this direction? No. So you have to place it in that direction, but that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it like that. Okay, so I don't think I will film that process. I think you will get that, so you will see that in the project share. And then, yeah, I think that's it for this video. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.